catch and release generation, that the fact that I am starving you and depriving you of emotional fulfillment and spiritual security, and I am depriving you of the desire that you have to take it to the next level, the covenant. Do you know how many people asked me to marry them and I laughed?
Where has that gotten?
Like, oh, would you marry? Not ask me, like, get down on a knee, but hey, so would you get married? No, I don't think so.
They never even asked her.
And it's funny because then when I got saved, that's all I want. Isn't it funny?
Oh my gosh.
The very thing you hate, you become.
Wow. But I never heard that. You weren't connected. You were, that wasn't connection. That was attachment.
We're not connected. It was attachment. You were attached to me. I wasn't connected to you.
Oh.
It was very self-serving. It was narcissistic.
Oh my God.
It comes from a place that I needed to be the source. I loved the fact that because I cook, I clean, I'm faithful, I'm loyal. I am a wife, but I don't know how to carry the spirit of wife. I know how to be. I'm a wife in my characteristics, but I'm not a wife in my spirit. Like I don't have the desire to submit. I know what to do, but I don't trust you enough to submit and to release that authority, which is what the man is, the head.
Pause it right there. Pause it right there. Then she's not a wife. This is a perfect case. A perfect case. She's not a wife. She ain't even pretending. Hold on real quick. A perfect case of this, or example of this, from looking from the outside in, is what everybody destroyed Travis Hunter for. Motherfucking checkmate. They saw his woman potentially of the traits that she was explaining. And every man was like, you know what? She might act like she being a wife to this dude, but I'm telling you, bro, you need to wife. Bro, you can't see that, sweetie. Nobody, not one person said that woman was being a wife for him. Not one person said that Travis Hunter girl was being a wife. You're making my point. No, you're not. That woman.
The only person saying it, Sweeney, is Travis Hunter.
That's what I'm saying, Sweeney. He believed. I'm saying there's so many men out here. You know, that story is under a microscope. If that story wasn't on a microscope, it would just be like any other relationship that was going on. And the only people that are really being deceived is the person that's with her. And she's very careful and meticulous about not being exposed to that person. And the girl that Travis Hunter is doing a perfect.
But to Sweeney's point, Darwin, he is actively ignoring red flags. The rest of the world is holding up signs saying, "Hey, there's a red flag there." He is choosing to ignore it.
You made my point. You made my point that because he's under a microscope. Because he's under a microscope, the world is able to show him the red flags. But just look at any other brother that's dealing with a Jezebel spirit like this that wouldn't have the microscope to show them the red flag. They would have to use their own discernment to be able. A real wife who knew how to actually pretend to be a real wife, we wouldn't even know that. Wouldn't nobody be able to hold up a red flag to Travis Hunter saying your girl ain't no wife, because she would be pretending to be a wife, not only in the privacy of their own home, but outside in public. If we're saying that she's not a wife, then that means that she's not a wife. Look at Samantha Lee.
That's wrong. Listen. What you got to understand is that women, everybody knows that women do their shit test at the beginning, right? They understand how to gauge you. They're not trying to fool the world necessarily. They know how to fool you. They're going to get off just enough with this man. That doesn't mean she's going to attack every situation the same. Travis Hunter was obviously green as fuck. We know that. We understand that. We can see it, but like he said, there's a microscope underneath it, right? So if he wasn't the type to tolerate a woman going out while he sit outside of the club, then she wouldn't do that shit. But she knew he was a sucker the whole time. So women will push the envelope until you push back. He's still silly enough to talk about marrying her after all of that. If he was a dude that was a little more hip, then she would have had to get her.
How was she manipulating him? How is she manipulating him?
What is the solution to what she was talking about and what Travis Hunter is going through? What is the solution? Back to what I was saying.
Oh yeah, the solution would be to, fathers stay in people's lives and help to vet that person that they're interested in. Right? You got to be able to pass on that ability for them to be able to discern. I mean, I know what you would say. You would say experience it. And I'm not going to say that won't also work, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. But what I'm saying is that somehow we have to get it into these young men's brain that she's not the one. And these are red flags you got to look out for. They have to recognize them one way or the other.
How do we know that she's manipulating Travis Hunter?
We can feel it in the air.
Hold on, wait. No. What she's doing is extremely obvious. She ain't, but like, how do we know she's making him believe all that shit that they say about me? I'm not the things that they saying that I am. How do we know that? Or is she literally just showing him exactly who she is and he doesn't care?
Gentlemen,
to answer your question, the manipulation.
Gentlemen, this is going on far too long. See, there's structural problems here, and we don't want to talk about structural problems because we all want to talk about how we feel. People get caught up in situations like this because they deal with people based on how they feel, not structurally. See, I can tell you right now, whoever she was dealing with was not a man. Whoever she was dealing with was not a man, because he doesn't understand structure, order, decorum. He doesn't understand lover, leader, provider, protector. Because that's why I ask the question to ladies all the time. Can a man, your man, tell you no to something you want and you desire that they have the means to get? See, when I used to date, and it was perfect with me and my lady, it was perfect. It worked out perfect. And she could have been manipulating me, but the circumstances allowed for her to fall into my system, my program. So I tell women like this: when I was single and I was dating, I dated one of three places. We're gonna date at my house, your house, or the park. And if you can't get with that, then you can't be with me. But a woman, her job is to be supportive of a man. And how does she be supportive of that man? She maintains her femininity, she respects him, and she submits to him. That woman is not a wife because she doesn't know how to submit. That woman is not a wife because she doesn't know how to respect. That guy is not a man because he didn't require that. This is why I was telling guys yesterday or the other day that you're not raised to be husbands. And Darwin, I'm gonna beat this dead horse again. Because if you was raised to be a husband, I said guys will figure a woman out within 2 to 3 weeks max. There's no way in the world a guy who's raised to be a husband has not been taught that his woman is supposed to respect him and submit to him. That woman said it herself. She wasn't going to submit. She didn't want to submit. There was no connection. There was an attachment. She said there was no respect. And the guy could not figure out that this woman did not respect him because he doesn't have a way to test whether or not she respects him. He doesn't have a way to test whether or not she submits to him. The perfect way to figure out if a woman submits to you is to tell her no to things that she wants, she feels she deserves, and you have the means to acquire. If that woman, if you tell her no, and she's like, okay, she may ask why or beg, please. But if you say no and she's cool with that no, and her behavior towards you doesn't change, that's a woman that can submit to you. That's a woman that respects you. But y'all can go back and forth all night long. Y'all gonna take a point here and a point there, but there's a structural problem. And if you don't address the structural problem that this dude is not a man, and that lady is not a wife, because a wife is looking to submit. She's looking for a covering to be under. She's not looking to, she's not moving the way that lady was moving. And I mean, the video, we don't even need to listen to the whole video. I mean, she's telling you she's not a wife as soon as she's opening her mouth. She's just not. And I don't want to, I mean, I guess if y'all want to keep going back and forth, I could keep listening for another 40 minutes, but it ain't going to change anything.